Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Saturday Social whiteboard is out. There it is. Talk to me, Joe.
Yeah, well, we're going to be doing a combined 11 today between Tottenham.
Why are you laughing?
Well, I think Cams is on that field task, quite frankly, trying to get as many Man United players into this as possible. This is based on form, though.
Form this season?
Yeah, form this season, so not overall ability or anything like that, so it's even harder for you, I reckon.
Yeah, he's lucky, he's lucky. If it was ability, I could have maybe snuck some in there.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the goalkeeper, shall we? 4-3-3?
4-3-3.
Oh.
I think without a shadow.
Let's reveal to the camera then who you've gone with in sticks. Looks like you've both gone with the same. Vicario. Was this an easy choice for you, Fuad?
Without a shadow of a doubt. I think one of the signings of the season we're talking about here, and Spurs were linked with, I remember at the start of the window with Raya, and my God, am I grateful we've got this guy instead, because he has been almost the ultimate safe pair of hands, and with the issues we've had in our defence this season, he's literally almost been the saving grace behind that. So
do you think he's the most informed keeper in the league at the minute?
It's tough between him and Alisson. I feel like Alisson really single-handedly sometimes wins Liverpool games. And, you know, Alex Ferguson has that famous quote of a goalkeeper can get you 10 points at the end of the season. Alisson is the definition of that, but Vicario, close behind.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think Vicario has been brilliant, to be honest. And I'm very surprised, because when he signed, nobody really had too much awareness about him, and he's just come in, he's done a great job, and as I mentioned, either him or Alisson can be keeper of the year. So, on the other hand, we got Onana, who we're talking about single-handedly winning 10 points. He probably single-handedly lost us 10 points, you know what I mean? So
let's not go too hard.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just saying.
I'm actually going to stick up for Onana a little bit. I think in Europe, there were clearly obvious problems.
Yeah, I'm scarred.
Domestically in the league, you look at XG prevented, you look at shot save percentage, they're right up there amongst the best in the league.
But there's still some goals, even in the league, where I'm like, could Onana have saved that one? I think he could have. So maybe I'm being harsh. I'm quite harsh to goalkeepers in general anyway. But
easy one, though.
Vicario, easy. Yeah. Go on, you do it.
OK, right back.
I think this one's fairly easy as well, in my opinion. I've gone with Pedro Porro, who I think has been one of the most improved players in the Premier League this season. Last season, when he came in, kind of looked a bit raw. People were looking at his attacking kind of attributes, but this season you've seen that kind of growth, and under Ange he's really taken on another level. The passing range this guy has, I'm looking at it from right back, you're looking at only second to Trent, in my opinion, in the league this season, in terms of form. So for me, without a shadow of a doubt.
Goals as well.
Yeah, his stats are pretty impressive. Well, most tackles, 1 open play crosses and passes into the final third for Tottenham this season. 6 assists in the Prem, scored a worldie in the FA Cup against Burnley as well. Where do you think he ranks in terms of... There's obviously a lot of great right-backs in the league. Where do you think he ranks?
I'll put him in the top 5. You know what I mean? I'll put him in the top 5. I'm still going to stick with Trent. I think he's the best in the world. And then there's still Reece James, who's injured right now. Kyle Walker. I still got to give him the respect. And then I'll probably get Porro in there, maybe. Trippier is going through a tough moment, but he's a good one as well. So, but I'll put him in the top 5. Nah, Ben White, I don't know.
Centre back.
That one. Let's put him up there. I think he's brilliant.
So both Spurs players. With centre-back, should we look at your pairing?
Yeah, let's see the pair.
Remember, we're doing this combined 11,
based on form.
Spurs, based on form this season.
Based on form.
So let's do Cam's first to the camera, reveal your 2. So based on form this season, you're going Varane and Ben Davies?
Yes.
Oh, OK.
So far, at the current moment, I think Ben Davies has filled in with Romero out. When Romero's out, or if Van de Ven's out, I think Ben Davies has been really good. You know, I mean, I've been really impressed, considering he's a left-back playing at centre-back. Yeah. And I think Rafael Varane, still amongst the bad season for Manchester United, or right now bad form, I still think he's he stands out in our defence, in my opinion. So I'm going to go Varane. I'm going to go Ben Davies. I think Varane... The narrative around Varane is very wrong, in my opinion. I think he's still a top-class centre-half. Yes, OK, sometimes there might be issues on the ball every now and again, but in the box, like in-box defending, getting your head on the ball, I don't think there's many better in the league than Rafael Varane. But, you know, injuries and his wage is causing a lot of discussion around him. But, listen, this is still a top player.
Do you think, then, that... Because, obviously, there has been times where he's actually been dropped from the team, not been injured. Was that the wrong decision, in your opinion?
Absolutely. I can't get my head around not playing Rafael Varane. And with all due respect to Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, they've done well this season, both of them individually, but they're not Rafael Varane. And I just think that was pretty disrespectful, in all honesty. I think Varane, there was no reason for him to get dropped, I don't think, on performance. I just think it was a bit of politics behind it. So Listen, I'm sticking with my guy.
Well, do you agree with either of them? Or
Completely different. And I've gone
Christian
Romero
happens.
and Mickey van der Ven. And I'm sorry, but...
They're not playing at the moment. Van der Ven's not playing at the moment.
But we said this season's form. And I'm sorry, Christian Romero this season has been absolutely incredible. The goals, the leadership at the back. For me, he has been, alongside Porro, one of the most improved players this year. Because last year people were saying, oh, he's too rash. He's too much of a cannibal. But we're seeing a lot better.
He's only played 11 games this season. Guess why?
Who?
Romero.
Yeah, suspension.
Yeah, guess why? Yeah, exactly.
It happens.
Rash.
How many has Varane played?
More than him.
And this is the thing.
Varane's played 11 games.
Varane's played 11.
Oh, interesting.
Varane's played 11. Romero's played 15.
Oh, interesting.
Mickey van der Ven's played 11.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, get your centre back right. And with Van der Ven, I'm sorry, nobody expected the levels of performances he's been able to deliver. He has looked supreme. And if I'm not mistaken, I recall you earlier on in the season saying he's a young Varane. All hail the new and improved.
I've never said that.
Don't make me find the clip.
I've never said that.
You see, this is the benefit of knowing each other. You see, you remember what we said. But in terms of the form there, it's interesting that you've gone with Ben Davies there, because I do think he has papered over the crack.
Leading
for
up
that
to the
same
game.
argument, would you not, for Man United, have gone Maguire? Because I feel like Maguire's done the same when Varane's been out.
So how I'm looking at it is...
Premier League Player of the Month, Maguire.
Yeah.
Once.
How I'm looking at it is leading up to this game. I know Maguire's not going to be available. So leading up to this game, I think Ben Davies in the last couple of games has been very useful for Spurs. And I think Rafael Varane has been for Man United. I know them two, if it was like... how I see it, if it was like the whole season, I can understand it. But leading up to this game, I think it's these two.
So I think the difficulty you have here is you've got Man United Spurs and Man United Spurs. Yeah. So this is based on form this season. So I think Van der Ven has to go up. Van der Ven has to go up. If there's
I'll be honest,
Spurs,
I think both of them.
Who do we think is the other one?
Look at this.
Even John agrees.
I think
Romero and Van der Ven?
Well, if it's form this season, then they've been the two outstanding centre-backs of both clubs.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I can understand where Cams is coming from, though, because clearly you've got a bit more recent.
Yes, I've got more recent
than that.
This is looking beautiful.
Okay.
Wow.
I think this speaks volumes, though. Should we just quickly discuss, like, how many and how dominant Spurs are looking already here?
It's disappointing. I mean, this is the position we're in. This is the position we're in at the moment. They're probably going to get their left back in now as well, so it's not looking good for us. But this is why I tried to make it more leading up to the game, because I think we could sneak a couple in. If it's all season, then there probably won't even be a Man United.
So you're trying to sneak a couple in. Who are you going for left back?
I've gone Udogie. You've gone
Udogie as well, yeah.
Without a doubt.
Best left back in the league this season?
I would say so. And I think the left-back position has been one that's a troubled one in the league, to be fair. I think you've got Arsenal playing Zinchenko, City are playing left-backs. There haven't been that many top left-backs since Robertson's really gone down. I feel like he's stepped in this season and really taken the mantle, overlapping, underlapping. The guy's a 6'2" man mountain playing at full-back. So, honestly, top player in my opinion.
I think Dalot has been good, though. I think Dallow's been really good at left-back, and I was close to putting him in, but Udogie has been very good as well. But I think Dallow's been one of our one of our best players this season. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think he's been outstanding, given that he's been played out of position. Yeah. But I don't know whether he's been good enough to get in over a Destiny Udogie, who I think has been one of Europe's best fullbacks this season. And given his age and also the transition of position he's had to undergo, you know, when he was brought back to the club in the summer, we saw him last season in Serie A basically utilised like an overlapping left wing-back. Now he's playing as this sort of inverted full-back who's playing as a defensive midfielder at times. He's contributing at both ends. But I agree, Dalot. Who would you start at the weekend at right-back for United? Let's say Shaw's fit.
I'm still starting Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. Yeah, I'm not starting Luke Shaw. I think... Nah, I think I like the way Dalot inverts from left-back as well. And I think he's actually been playing better at left back than he does at right back, and I think when you're playing against a team like Spurs, you know you're going to have some moments where you need to defend, and I think Wan-Bissaka in their moments, potentially 1v1 moments against maybe a Brennan Johnson who can go out wide and he's fast. I think Wan-Bissaka is good in them situations, and sure, he's just come back from injury. He's just come back from injury as well. You don't really know what you're going to get from him at this moment. So I would still stick with Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. Scored
a couple cracking goals as well this season, Dalot. Really good ball striker. All right.
Okay, so that completes the back five. Just quickly on this, I was going to ask you about this. Obviously, trying to take our bias aside, but doing a combined 11, it's not very often with the Spurs Man United combined 11 you'd have all five would be Tottenham over Man United. What are your thoughts on this? And
it's a reflection of the season at the moment. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think on ability, like just on paper, I don't think this will be the case. But I think in this certain moment, you've got to give it to Spurs. But I mean, this just puts more pressure on them for the game, right? Yeah, I mean, you better win. You better win. I mean, the whole Spurs team.
Well, never how he's turned that.
Don't let me see you guys drop points.
You know what I mean? We've got injuries, we've got suspensions.
I don't want
to be fair, they're all injured and suspended. So
there you go.
There we go. Right, DM, who are you going with?
DM. Who have I got? I'm missing one, I think. In here.
You may have the same name. That's potentially why.
You may have the same name. Who are you going with, Fuad? While he's looking for his...
Okay.
Hey, I love that.
Menu.
I didn't think you'd do that.
Nah, I have
Only
to give
18
credit
years of age
where
still.
credit is due. Since this kid has come on the scene, I remember last time I was on as well, I was a huge fan.
I think he'd made one game.
Yeah.
I think he
only played one game, and I said I'd seen enough to know that is a two-way specialist. This kid is composed, mature, and it's the way he's taken to the mantle, thrown in the deep end in the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
They say you throw someone in the deep end, you see if they sink or swim.
Yeah.
He is someone he's butterfly swimming through this thing.
Yeah.
So honestly, top talent, and I'm interested to see how he develops in that United team, because if you can look like that in a chaotic team, now imagine you put some cohesion around him and some decent...
Can I ask the United fans, because obviously I think he's been brilliant as well. Second youngest player to start 5+ Premier League games this season, by the way, after Lewis Miley, who I've also been massively impressed with. But interesting how they've both been given runs in the team because of injuries to respective clubs, Newcastle and Man United. Would you start him if everyone's fit, given how good he's been playing? Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, if you saw him in the academy as well, he's playing in the number 6 role, and he's probably preferred in the number 8. Like, he can drop in. So I'm hoping when Casemiro comes back, you can then have a partnership. But like what Fuad was saying,
experience,
like he is the maturity that he's showing on the pitch at the moment is so impressive, and he's got such a cool head on his shoulders as well, and the way he receives the ball, something that we're missing. You know, even when Casemiro plays, who's going to get the ball off the back four? And he's so confident in doing it. And it's not only Anfield that he got thrown into. He got thrown into Everton away. These are like some seriously cauldron stadiums. So he's handled it really well. West Ham was a little bit of a shaky one, but he's young. We know it's going to go up and down. But the quality of this guy...
Stick him up.
Gareth Southgate. You watching, mate?
And obviously,
you watching?
Late one,
Basuma's had his bans, hasn't he? And he's now
missed a couple of games,
So has had an amazing season, Basuma. But
since the Luton game has been, the form hasn't been fully there.
Should we do the two then? Because we're playing 4-3-3. I think a couple of you have got players in different positions. So who have you gone as your other two midfielders?
I have gone for Pape Sarr and James Maddison. Okay. And I know you might look at James Maddison and think he hasn't played that many games, but in the games he did play, he was contender for player of the season.
Yeah, this is a difficult one, isn't it? Because he's been out for the same amount of time as Van der Ven.
He was Premier League Player of the Month for August, wasn't he? Started really well.
He started off so brilliantly, and for me, I just can't forget that. And knowing the quality and calibre of player that he is, I know he's going to come back and just take to it again. Pape Sarr, I feel like, is the one that doesn't get the flowers.
I think he's the most underrated in this.
100%, Smithy. And I think even Spurs fans amongst ourselves, we give a lot of the flowers to Basuma for the defensive work, Maddison for the creativity, but he is the glue that holds it all together.
Who do you think starts in the 3 if everyone's fit at Spurs? Because obviously Bentancur's come up. We haven't had one game where all of them have been fit. Who would your 3 be?
At the moment, I'd still stick with Sarr. With Bentancur coming back from his fitness issues, it's almost like a blessing to
Sarr, Basuma and Maddison, you'd go.
Yeah, I'd stick with what's been working, and Bentancur almost works his way in.
Right, OK.
So I've gone for Kulusevski and I've gone for Sarr. I echo Fuad's views about Sarr. I think he is so underrated, and just his athleticism, the way he gets about the pitch, I think he's a really good player. Yeah, he's a really good player. Obviously, he's going to be missing for the AFCON and missing for this game, so I'm buzzing about that. But Kulusevski, I think since he's gone into the 10, James Maddison, we know what James Maddison is, but James Maddison has been out for quite a while now. And Kulusevski, since he's gone into the 10, I actually think he's been looking better in the 10 than he was on the right wing. So I think even when Maddison comes back, that might be a little dilemma, because you're picking up results at the moment with Kulusevski in the 10. So I'm going to go with him in the 10 and Pape Sarr. I think we both agreed on Sarr.
Well, let's put Sarr in, and then should we give, like, if I'm the Spurs fan, take my bias out of it, you're neutral, they're both Spurs, who would you go with, Joe, of the 2?
Well, I'm also United fan, so
they're 2 Tottenham players, what I'm getting at. So.
I think, personally, if we've got Van der Ven on there, when we're talking about form. They've been out for an identical period of time, both
literally the exact same game.
Wow. You can't not have Madders on there. But I totally take your point that if you were looking at recent form, like last month, last few weeks, you couldn't have Maddison, couldn't have Van der Ven. But if you got Van der Ven, you got to have Maddison.
I agree with that, and I think Maddison, for the contribution that he's had, has to be in the team. 8 goal contributions in 11 appearances. So just the one United player so far.
Bring Cobby.
All right, let's go. What, right wing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's go right wing. Yeah.
Look at that. You can't change the name. There we go.
I've gone Garnacho purely because of what you said as well. I think with Kulusevski, since going into the middle, he's actually looked a lot better. I think at times he's looked a bit predictable on the right wing. And Garnacho, as good as he was on the left, I think he's gone up a level since he's gone on the right, and he's adding layers to his game almost, I feel like. But it's hard to deny this season what he's been doing, for sure. So Garnacho,
3 goals,
right
2 assists.
I think this is another case. It's like Project Carrington, you know. Sometimes when all goes wrong, you just look to the players that feel like they really want it and really get what it means to play for Man United. I think Garnacho is one of them. Like, there's been Sancho's gone off, and Ahmad's been injured, and Anthony's not the greatest form as well. So, but his mentality, Garnacho, you might even argue he might not be as talented as the 3 guys that I mentioned, but in terms of his mentality, he just knows what it takes. And he, to be honest, he's won me over in a way. Not to say that I didn't rate him or anything like that, but just the way he applies himself. And when he's gone on the right wing, he's direct and he's honest. And so I appreciate it. So I think he's been good this season. The last few weeks as well, he's been one of our best players.
Stick him up then. Should we do the last 2? Because I think the reason we do this together is because you've got players in different positions, I believe, here.
Yeah.
So let's see the 2 that
presumably you've got one matcher, though.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm guessing Son is...
You see,
go on.
Now I'm thinking I've maybe gone Garnacho left wing because I've got Kulusevski here as well.
Where's he going to go? He's messed up now.
So what I would have done is maybe Garnacho left wing, Kulu on the right with Son in the middle.
Nice. Now you're not appreciating Richarlison.
I mean, Son's nailed on, isn't
he? And with Richarlison, I will give him credit. I think for the past couple of games, it's undeniable what he's been able to do. And You've needed those players to step up, the Davises, the Richarlisons, the Lo Celsos, and they have. But for me, I don't think you can overlook Son's redemption arc this season. And in that 9 role, I feel like he's almost found himself again. So I have to pick him. Therefore, I needed a winger, so Kulusevski had to
what you're saying is, you're saying Garnacho's best form has been on the right.
I can shift it. I can shift Kulu to the left.
You can't. You can put Son on the left. I think you can put Son on the left because naturally he's been on the left for the majority of his career. And Richarlison, you've got to respect.
Just by your own argument there, you said about Garnacho playing on the left, as you're saying that's where his best form has been. Son's best form has been through the middle.
Son can still play on the left. Garnacho's not been good on the left.
Son this season, his exceptional form has come as a 9.
I agree.
We've got to have Son on the board, so let's stick Son on.
Son for the
here's the thing. Do you know
hold on.
We can have that. Because either way, it's 2 Spurs players on the board.
Yeah,
so I'm content either way.
Go on. We'll do manager as well.
Let the Spurs boys pick. Would you rather have Richarlison or Kulu in your front 3?
I would personally have... I think for recent form, I think I'll give it to Richarlison. Kulu on that wing, I feel like he has been better in the middle, so I think we can...
Yeah, I think you have to have a huge shout out to Kulusevski. What I love about Kulusevski is what he's been asked to do in this system. He's played out wide, he's played as a 10 role. He's even had games against Luton where we were down to 10 men, where he was almost playing on his own up front, hold-up play, the assist he's getting. And he's been asked to do a lot. So I think... I would personally have Kulusevski in on current form, but I'd also want Son, I'd also want Richarlison.
Look at it.
Let's have it.
You could do that.
There we go. That looks proper.
I mean, I wish
I saw this team last season.
Either way, though, it was Spurs, wasn't it? Because you were debating with Richarlison and Kulusevski, but 9 Spurs players.
9.
I mean, I think it's...
Is that... you've been accused of being biased here. Is that fair, Cams? What do you...
There's no bias.
I think we could have got one. I think we could have got Varane in there personally.
As much as you would love to look at this and say I'm being biased, I think you could look at all of those players and say they deserve to be there. It says more a reflection of the job Ange is doing, effectively.
Yeah, quickly, manager, Ange or Ten Hag, who would you have? I see this debate.
Now, listen, it's not about who I would rather have. It's about who is currently, in my opinion, the better manager, right?
Make a decision.
You don't believe that.
I'm going Ten Hag.
What are you going with?
I'm going with my gaffer.
They're not going to agree.
Has Ange done anything that Ten Hag hasn't done yet?
Dual management role. We'll give him a dual management role. There we go. They're not going to agree. Why don't you decide at home? You decide at home. There is confirmation of their combined 11 based on current form. They're not going to agree on managers. We'll have a quick break. Let us know what you think.